You know that feeling when your own mind feels like your biggest enemy? Like you're just stuck in this endless loop of worrying and overanalyzing everything? Well, in this explainer, we are going to dive into a really powerful and practical way to break free from all that. And it's all inspired by the wisdom of Eckhart Tolle. So let's just jump right in with a paradox that I'm betting feels super familiar. You decide, okay, today's the day, I'm going to be more present, I'm going to quiet my mind. But the second you try, your brain just gets louder, right? It starts analyzing how to be present, and if you're doing it right. It's this incredibly frustrating loop, isn't it?
And this dilemma, it's captured perfectly in this little story. A person is just completely drowning in worry, asking, what do I do? And the dog's answer is so simple, it's almost infuriating. Stop thinking. I mean, come on. If it were that easy, none of us would have this problem in the first place, right?
So why is it so hard? Well, according to Tolle, this struggle isn't some kind of personal failure. He has this incredible way of reframing it. He says it's a symptom of the single greatest and most unrecognized addiction in the entire world.
And that addiction is thinking. It's this compulsive, nonstop inner voice that gives us this kind of fake sense of who we are. And here's the real kicker. This addiction is so universal, it's so normal, that unlike other addictions, most of us who have it don't even know we're hooked. It's just the water we swim in.
Now, check this out, because this is where it gets really interesting. Think about common addictions. They affect some people, and they're usually recognized as a problem. But the thinking addiction, it affects literally everyone. It's almost never recognized, and it's not external. It's all happening inside. But this last point is the most important one. It gives a sense of self. Letting go feels threatening because we've mistakenly tied our very identity to that little voice in our head.
And that leads us to this huge shift in how we approach this whole thing. The way out of this addictive loop isn't through more thinking. You can't analyze your way out of it or try to figure it all out with the very mind that's creating the problem in the first place. Instead, the real goal is to practice cultivating a state of pure presence. This is just a space of awareness, of no thought. And it's so powerful because it connects you with reality as it actually is, not just your mind's story about it. And here's the good news. This presence can exist even in the background, while thoughts are still popping up. It's just about not getting completely swept away by them. And that's a skill anyone can learn. So how do we actually do this? How do we find that quiet space of presence? Well, Tolle gives us 3 super simple, direct entry points you can use anytime, anywhere, to tap into this state.
And here they are. 1. Accept the moment. 2. Use your senses. And 3. Listen without thinking. Now, these aren't some complicated mental gymnastics. They're actually incredibly simple shifts in focus, away from your mind's circus and into the reality of what's happening right here, right now. Okay, number 1, simply accept this moment. A huge chunk of our mental chatter is basically an attempt to argue with reality. We're fighting what is. So by just allowing the present moment to be exactly as it is, without judging it or trying to escape it, you naturally start to quiet down all that frantic mental energy.
Second, use your senses. Seriously, try this right now. Just look around the room you're in. What happens if you just see the colors and the shapes without that compulsive need to label everything? That's a chair, that's a lamp, that's a wall. Just perceive. This simple act of pure seeing creates these beautiful, quiet little gaps in that constant stream of thought. And this third one is absolutely brilliant because you're literally doing it right now. As you're listening to me speak, do you need to think about what I'm saying to understand it? No. You just listen, and the understanding just happens. You are proving to yourself in this very second that awareness can exist without you having to run an active, internal commentary on it.
Okay, so as soon as you start trying these things out, you're going to notice something right away. Your mind is going to try to pull you right back into the thought stream. And that leads us to the final and most crucial insight for making this whole thing stick. Every single thought that pops into your head isn't just neutral. Tolle says it has this magnetic pull. It's like a little entity that wants your attention. It wants your consciousness, because that's what it feeds on to survive and grow into a bigger thought and then a bigger story.
He uses this fantastic analogy of his dog. One moment, the dog is right there with him, totally present. The next, it catches a scent, and poof, it's gone. Disappearing over the horizon, completely lost in its own world, totally oblivious to anything else. We do the exact same thing every time we unconsciously latch onto a random thought.
And just look how quickly this can spiral. It can start with something so simple, so neutral, like, I'm a little hungry. That thought pulls you into thinking about a restaurant, which gets you thinking about money, which reminds you of a past mistake, and boom, before you know it, 20 minutes have gone by and you've woken up deep inside this story about how dreadful your life is, all from one tiny little thought.
So the practice itself is incredibly simple, though, I'll admit, not always easy. It's about recognizing this mechanism in your own mind. You don't have to fight the thought, you don't have to push it away. You just allow it to show up, you notice its magnetic pull, and then you make a conscious choice not to follow it down the rabbit hole. And this really brings us to the heart of the entire practice. It isn't about achieving some perfect, final state of zero thoughts forever. It's about a moment-by-moment choice. It all boils down to this one simple, powerful question you can ask yourself anytime you feel that pull. What happens if you just let the next thought go?